Hey, if you're in the entertainment industry and you're looking for ways to better organically network with people you meet in the field, you should definitely, probably watch this video. Because I'm going to tell you at least two of the stories that I've had where my organic networking has led to better opportunities for myself in the long run. So, stay tuned.
Yeah.
What is up, good people? For those of you who are watching this video, if you haven't watched part one, the network part one, I highly suggest you do that first, because in that video I talk about networking in the entertainment industry, and in my opinion, whether or not I feel like it's better to have a forced networking or an organic networking. And again, as a disclaimer, it's just my opinion, so when you watch it, take it with a grain of salt. What works for me may not work for you, but this is for people who, just want advice and examples of how things have gone for me, who's been out here for some time. So, to get to the story, right, of why I think organic and natural networking is probably the best way to go about things, I'm going to give you guys two stories. I'm going to try to make them as short as possible, right? So, a long story, less long. When I first moved to LA, for the first year, I did not book anything. Not a thing. Zero. Nothing.
Cool.
Right? And when I finally did book something, I ended up doing pretty well, right? I booked a regional car commercial, right? And it was the first commercial I'd ever done where I wasn't an extra. And not that there's anything wrong with extra work, but if you know, you know. Right? So I get on set. I'm one of I think it was 4 people who's doing a customer testimonial for the car dealership. I was just my normal self, right? I didn't try to force conversation if the conversation wasn't there. I didn't try to be the life of the party. I was just Anthony. When the conversation came, I was in it. If I had a question to ask, I asked it. If I had something I wanted to talk about, I talked about it. And it was cool. It was great. It was a really, really good first experience for shooting my first commercial, even though I was extremely nervous. Fast forward 2 years-ish, year and a half, 2 years-ish, self-submitting like I usually do, and I come across this campaign. It just so happened that the producer for the car commercial, right, who happened to be there when we were filming, she was actually the casting director for this campaign. I submitted, she remembered me and picked me for that campaign, right? So we have a situation where maybe if I had approached that car commercial with an ego, or been really difficult to work with, or, wasn't being my natural self and was kind of standoffish, she probably would have been I had a bad experience with Anthony. I don't want to bring him back, right? I don't want to get picked. But because I was just me, right? I didn't try to force anything. I ended up being in that campaign. And not only was in that campaign ran for 3 months. So for 3 months, when you went to bus stops in LA, there were certain billboards in LA, my face was there, right? I recorded a video of my first time seeing myself at the bus stop, just completely in awe because I was caught off guard, seeing myself. I didn't even know when they were going to put it up or how it was going to be put out or anything like that. And definitely once the camera stopped, I was boohoo crying. But it did make me think, wow, who does play a role. That's just the facts. The second story I have for you guys, over this past year, I've been involved in let's say web series, web production, web channel, right? And while on that web channel, I met with the director, obviously, met with the cinematographer, met with the key grip, met with the sound person. And just like any other scenario, just like the car commercial setting, I was just myself, right? I spoke when I had something to say, asked questions, made jokes, and overall just got along with everybody on set very, very well. To the point that the cinematographer and I, in particular, became really cool because he and I have very similar senses of humor. So a lot of times we'd be on set just laughing about the same things. And he, later on last year, approached me about a project he wanted to shoot, and he wanted me to be involved involved in that project. You know, I think back now that I'm telling the story, it's something where it's like, he didn't have to pick me, right? This particular cinematographer, he's a real chill, down to earth guy. I can't really imagine anyone who's met him that wouldn't get along with him. But I think, again, that natural rapport, right? That not having to force anything. Him and I were just cool. He thought of me when he did this project. I agreed to the project. And of course, I'm going to show clips, right, as I'm talking about all these things. But it was really, really, really well done, right? And I remember even when I said yes to help him and be involved in this project, it's like, it wasn't so much like, I'll get footage for myself by doing this. You know, it was really like, I think he's extremely talented, and I've told him this on multiple occasions. I think he has like a really good eye for detail, and I just wanted to work with him. In helping him get to the goal he wanted to get to, I ended up getting some really good footage, right? Footage that I wasn't even necessarily looking to get. Grateful for, but not looking to get. I just say all that to say, right? I think ultimately the takeaway is, yes, you do need to network. Yes, you do need to meet people. Yes, you do need to find a way to put yourself and make yourself present in other people's minds so they think of you when it comes for casting roles, when it comes for commercials, for TV, for print, for all these things. But again, in my opinion, I don't think those, at least long-lasting relationships, come from what can I get from this person mentality, right? I think to some degree, right, I think there's nuances to it, but I think to some degree it's, what can I give to this person, right? What are the things that are true of me, are true to me, that when I express it and relate it to other people, they might also relate back to me, and we build a natural connection. And if we don't, that's okay, right? There's other people, right? I try to tell, especially newer actors, I'm like, you don't have to put all your eggs in one basket when it comes to making friends with a particular, again, director, producer, or somebody that you feel is super important. At the end of the day, everyone in this industry are all people, right? Some people are a little more egotistical than others, right? But they're all people. And I think when you kind of connect with the person, right, the humanity in this other individual, you'll find that the working relationship that you guys develop goes a lot further and is a lot more beneficial than if you force being friends with them or force being cool with them just because you need or want something from them. So that's just my 2 cents. Thank you guys for watching this video, and thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe.